So if there was one thing that you want to change about yourself, if there's one thing you want to change about yourself, what would that be? It doesn't have to be an intellectual thing. It doesn't have to be, there's no wrong answer here, right? And this question is directed to everybody. They're adults here. So if there is one thing, and I know that the younger generation always wants, the older generation to be vulnerable. So if there's one thing you would like to change about yourself, what do you think that thing will be? Definitely this is a safe space for every person. So if there's one thing that you want to change, I'm going to call names. So before I call names, please just raise your hand. Just use the raise hand button. So if there's one particular thing you would like to change, what would that thing be? Well, maybe I'm going to go first. Let me see. The question I just asked, I never thought of it. So I just asked a spontaneous question now. So I'll let me think. I think I'm going to change. I don't think I have anything that I want to change presently, but definitely some people will have some things that they would want to change. Yes, I remember. Maybe the kinkiness of my hair. I would want my hair to maybe be loose without applying any chemical right on it so that it can easily be managed. Not because I don't like my hair, but because I just want it to be easier and so that I can manage time. So that's one thing. So that's why I said that it doesn't have to be something out of the box or something that, somebody will think and say, wow, this is an intellectual conversation. There's no wrong answer. So I'm going to call names now and I'm moving to the adults. So if there's one thing you would like to change, what would that thing be? If there's one thing you want to change. So let us go to Mrs. Ife. Can you unmute where you are?
Hey, yes, I can. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay. One thing I would like to change. Hmm. I think maybe the fact that when I have um work on my ends, I find it difficult to rest until I've achieved it. So, and yesterday was, I think, International Women's Day, right? And my office had like or in preparation for the International Women's Day, they had like a program where they brought someone to speak on how you should rest. And someone said something in that gathering that kind of struck me, that when you're actually stuck on a project, it's best that you eat and you rest, because that way your brain also gets time to kind of recuperate and you're able to think better. So I think that's one thing I want to practice more going forward, learning to rest even in the midst of all the workloads that I have.
All
Thank you.
right. Superb. Thank you for sharing. I think some people can resonate with what you just said. And I can resonate with what you just said as well. I think it's just the fear of not meeting up and making sure that everything is rightly done. So who else? Let me see. Any, mini, miny, mo. All right, let us do favor.
So I said, I overthink things so much. I want to stop overthinking things actually because there are some opportunities that I've missed because maybe I didn't want to try because I was like I overthink that if I go there, will I be able to do all those type of things? So I guess that's it.
All right, thank you. So Favor said overthinking things. She overthinks things a lot. And when you overthink things, it tends to stifle you. That's analysis paralysis. You overthink, you think about the task, you think about how you're going to do the task, you think about when you now do the task. At the end of the day, would it, meet expectation, and then you literally just abandon it and not do it anymore. So thank you for sharing, Favor. And Ella is raising her hand, so you can unmute and go.
Okay, thank you, Ma. So, I also say I would want to change my overthinking. Like I overthink too, as Favor said. That's one thing I would like to change about myself. And the length of my hair, I would like my hair to grow longer. That's one thing I want to change also. And before now, I would have loved to change my height. I would have loved to be taller, but I like my height now. I like it the way I am. And also my teeth. I like to change my teeth. So yes, that's what I would like to change.
Awesome. Thank you for being very vulnerable with us. Why are you people doing emojis? It's the truth now. I'm sure that every adult here also experienced things like that, especially as you grew. Probably because of the standards in the society, there's a way, if you're too tall, they call you Tolingo, or there's something they can Iroko tree or whatever. You can't be so perfect. There's always something to say. There is always an abuse for every body shape or body size or facial structure. So if everybody's different, then why do we need to castigate or discriminate against some specific looks? So thank you, Eniola, for sharing that. Don't worry, because your hair is gonna grow. Your hair is gonna grow. Um, all right, do we have any other person who would like to share anything that they would want to change if they had the opportunity to change? Yes, and Eniola also mentioned that she would like to change that, maybe her teeth. Yes, as a young teenager, I also wanted to change my teeth. I said I'm going to use braces, but now I don't think I want to go through that stress anymore. All right, so Sister Folake wants to go.
All right, good morning, everybody. If there's anything I really, can I still go back? I cannot, but I can actually improve on it. Is to be more audacious. Yes, because I realized that while growing up, I tried a lot of things, and I feel that I would have done much more. That kind of. There was a particular time I know I can remember vividly where I was still like maybe 14, 15, and I was in the midst of grown adults, and they were like, okay, we need someone to speak to the MD of a particular. I can remember that company, an insurance company at then, and they needed someone to speak to the MD and submit a letter, this, da. I was like, yes, I can go. And they're like, you, from where to where? And later on, I realized that I found myself, and we never knew, those people were just like, they knew, so we never had any connection, no communication, nothing. The assignment was just to find a way through and submit the letter so that he can sponsor the program or something like that. And I saw myself getting to the MD's company with those adults. And you imagine, I was the one that spoke out of those people. And when I was done, like, can we do more? Can we do more of this? But later on, I don't know what came over. Maybe when I was growing up, I became more shy. I was just like, but I wish I could go back to those big bold steps. Yes, so when I was seeing Iri, I said, oh, this guy, yeah, I'm jealous.
Thank you for sharing. So there is a study that says that as you grow older, you tend to take less risks because you have so many things at stake. For younger people, the part of their brain that critically thinks about results of maybe mistakes or something is not totally developed. So that's why you can find a toddler jumping from a very high place and jumping down, climbing something that they shouldn't be climbing because they don't think about failure. It is adults that instills it in them that there is something called failure and it is bad. So they always say that there is the problem of the world is an adult, because when you hear adultery, there's adult in adultery, there's adult in adulteration. So they said the problem of the world are actually adults because they tend to put so much judgment in things. But as young people, it is, you're already moving us into what we have to talk about today. It is very easy to come by that you find them being more audacious or being risk takers. So Mr. Adebowale has his hand up, so let's go.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, we can hear you.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us to the party.
Yo,
And I feel I'm the only guy here. I don't know.
no, there's someone else.
All right. So, talking about the question, for me, I would love to be more spontaneous, trying to do things naturally as they come rather than following a rigid script, because I'm that kind of person that likes to follow through process. Just being better at flexible and open to change. That's all. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. As a young person, you should be grateful that you're in the midst of vulnerable adults because we didn't have this growing up. I don't know how many adults had this growing up. That you'd be in the midst of, grown-ups, and they're talking about their weaknesses or the things that they wish they could become or change. So yes, I understand that sometimes when we want to do something, we just feel like this is the way to go. And, I would call it programming. There is a way we have been programmed from childhood to follow in a particular direction. When I share my slides, definitely we're going to understand what I mean by programming. So we have been, and we feel like it's a personality type, but it's actually not a personality type. We have been programmed to think in a particular way, in a particular direction. So thank you so much, sir, for sharing that. I think Mr. Daniel is raising his hand, so let's go to Mr. Daniel.
Good morning. Sorry, apologies for joining late.
Thank you. Good morning.
I didn't even know time was gone. Emma Bean. Okay, so when I joined, I just heard about what would need to maybe change while you are young, and you just mentioned something about programming. While growing up, I don't know if it's my mom or my dad, but I know somebody around me always, I have that notion of telling us while growing up, not to believe people easily. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So I always have my guards. I have my guards up in every. So even if you are crying, as in, make you they cry. Pardon my language. Sorry. I hope you are okay. If as in be shedding blood, man. These actors. Now, wow, chai. See these people, and growing up now, you see a lot of there's a lot of suffering out there. People are vulnerable, young children, as in age 5. You see them, some of them sleep on the streets, You see a lot of vulnerable people, even as teens, they don't even have the roof on their head. So if they come to me, for example, now for help, I've been programmed in such a way that they want to scam me, So one thing I would love to change, and I'm working on it. Thank God for Holy Spirit. I don't want to go spiritual now. I just want to keep it. It is something that we can relate to, but the signing of the Spirit is one thing that when you see somebody that is want to scam you, of course you will know that no, this person is doing this. But I am working on myself, or something that I would love to change is just try to believe people more, meaning that you need to like maybe ask more questions. Not that when that thing first come, you just believe, but try to probe more, investigate more, then you can now lend you a helping hand or something. So yeah, I hope that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, I think many of us were programmed to not believe people, so we literally had trust issues. So where my own trust issues started from was when they will promise that we will go out, and then they'll come back late, and they say, "Don't worry, we'll go tomorrow," and then do the same thing, and then it continues like that, and then we never go. So it's like, if you promise me something, do it immediately. So if you don't do it immediately, that's the end. I can never trust you again because you don't keep your word. Secondly, the compassion that we need as a human being was eroded as when we were children, right? Because scriptures actually says that love believes all things. Love believes all things. So if somebody's even coming to scam you, you are literally believing them, but that doesn't mean that you are stupid or you don't know what you're trying to do, but you use it as an avenue to lecture or to teach or to change them because you know that is what they want to do. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing. Is someone else raising their hand? I think Ire is raising her hand. Ire, are you raising your hand?
Yes, ma.
All right.
So what I want to change, trust issues also, exactly what you said. And I want to think bigger. I don't want to I don't want to reduce how I learn, and I want to be able to, like, if I have a problem, I'll think of the solutions and how the solutions will affect, or how the solutions will increase the problem. Yes. I want to
Okay,
think
so
bigger.
how to execute your solutions, right? I think that's what you're trying to say. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Don't worry, you're gonna indeed become a very big thinker, and you're gonna expand your mind. That is why you are here, to be audacious, to be bold, to be courageous. Do we have any other person raising their hand so that we can move quickly into what we have for us today? All right. So thank you for sharing. That was profound. That was beautiful. Thank you for being vulnerable with us. And thank you for being vulnerable with every other person as well. I'm sure that there are some people here that, they're literally strangers to some other people, but there's some people here that know themselves. But I still want to say thank you. Even it's even more difficult to be vulnerable with the people that you know, because there is a perspective they might have of you, or a perception they have of you that you're perfect and everything, and then you're now saying what they do not know about you. So thank you so much for being vulnerable. So I'm going to share my screen now so that we can move quickly. All right, awesome. So you're welcome once again to the Audacious Bunch, and it is a program created for teenagers, launched by Mendas Hill Coaching Company. And one of the things that we do at Mendas Hill is to inspire, to empower, and to educate the young generation, adolescents, teenagers, and even the people that you can call the Gen Zs, right? Yes, we have some things for adults as well. We do some things called therapy, but our focus is majorly the younger generation, because we know all the struggles that they have. We've heard some of it already on the call, and some of the things that we experienced as children might have been dismissed, but because of the global market that we have presently, the global the fluidity of culture right now, there have been some exportation and importation of culture, so you cannot dismiss the younger generation, or else you're going to lose them. So Mendas Hill is majorly focusing on the younger generation, because if we do not help the younger generation to grow with intentionality, we might actually lose them. So that's what we do. And if you want to know more of what Mendas Hill Illumina is all about, you can definitely reach out to us, and we're going to send you our brochure. So how did we come about the word the Audacious Bunch? I'm sure that some people will be wondering why Audacious Bunch, or why Audacity. So late last year, I think October, I was just scrolling on Instagram, and then I came across a reel by somebody, and the person took a scripture that's Luke 11:8, and let me just pull it out and read it in NIV. And then I was shook. It says, "I tell you, even though he will not get up and give you the bread because of friendship, yet because of your shameless audacity, he will surely get up and give you as much as you need." So this was Jesus teaching his disciples, when his disciples asked him to teach them how to pray. So he gave an example of a person who, received a visitor, and this person called his neighbor and said that, "Guy, I have a visitor. I don't have food in the house. Please, can you, give me something to present to my neighbor or to my visitor?" And the person said no. But Jesus said that if you continue to disturb that person, even if he does not give you because he's your friend or he's your neighbor, he will give you because you are stressing his life and because you are relentlessly consistent, because you are shamelessly audacious. You kept asking and asking. There is a way we can ask somebody something for the first time, second time, and then the third time you're already feeling ashamed that, is it that this person doesn't want to get, am I a beggar or something? So, but Jesus literally says that because of your shameless audacity, that your friend will have no choice than to give you even as much as you need. This was the thing that stuck with me last year, October. And all of a sudden, towards January, I started saying audacity everywhere. I'm like, oh, wow. All right. So we've gotten this since October. And I think that the people who God actually wants to fire up have been, written already in the scrolls even before now. So definitely, we are not just the kind of people who will make noise about audacity or being audacious, but we are going to execute it. This is us turning revelation into tangible value. And this is how the 9-month mentorship and coaching program for teenagers was birthed. Right. Life doesn't always just hand you something. Life will not just hand you whatever you want. You have to get up and take it. You have to be shamelessly audacious. You have to be courageous. You have to be bold. You have to be, you just have to go ahead and be intentional with your consistency and your persistence. You have to keep asking, just like how God says it. Keep asking until your joy is full. But many times, because we feel like when we ask and the person does not answer, we feel like, oh, we're a bother or we are stressing them. But this is a principle in the Word of God that when you keep asking, it means that you really, really, really do need it. And it takes audacity to keep asking. So like I said, that Menda's Hill, what we do is to inspire, to empower, and to educate the younger generation. So if the Gen Zs are experiencing a form of mental laziness, because we see that we tend to castigate them a lot and say that, oh, they are lazy, they are this, they don't know how to stay with a project. They are easily distracted. It means that we have not taught them to be audacious enough to sit down and harness their staying power. So this is one of the things that the Audacious Bunch is going to be addressing. All right. So what are we here for? Audacity. We are here for audacity. And the reason why we are here for audacity is because there is so much of fear in the air. It's so tangible that you can touch it. There is so much uncertainty everywhere because actually there's even wars going on around in different countries as we speak. Some people are literally taking in their last breath. So if we are going to make a change in the world, if we are going to impact the world, if we are going to do anything different, we have to be audacious. And audacity means to be bold, boldness or courage to do something that others might be afraid to do. Others might be afraid to do. And audacity also means a person who is brave enough to think differently, take initiative, and stand out rather than follow the crowd. So we are here to ignite the fire within you. There is a fire within you, but the programming or the society or culture or tradition has doused that fire. It has reduced that fire. Maybe there's some things that you've experienced in your past or in your house or you're experiencing presently, or the environment where you are growing up is like the water that is dousing your fire. What we are here to do, what we are here for, is to ignite your fire again, is to show you that there are possibilities even beyond the possibilities that you've seen and experienced, even with people. And we are not here to teach you, and I'm talking to the teenagers now, we're not here to teach you, the celebrity lifestyle. We're not here to teach you to ask for validation. You are not doing this because you want to validate the fact that you are doing something good, but that you want to impact your generation. You want to impact the world. You want to change the world. Those who are willing to change themselves will be able to change the world. So this is what we are here for. Now, it's a different world we live in, especially for the millennials. It's a different world. It's not only for the millennials. I think it's more different for the baby boomers and Gen X, and baby boomers are the 80 somethings and 60 somethings, and the Gen X are in their 50s, while the millennials are the ones clocking 40, 40, 45, and so on. So it's said that in 2040, AI will shape opinions, careers, and lifestyle. In fact, it's already doing that already. Social media and digital personas, that's personality, people, and identity will become even more dominant. Many young people may struggle with identity confusion and comparison. There's so much confusion now. There's so much comparison now because, like I initially said, that there is culture fluidity. There is, you can literally see somebody who is in Korea at your fingertips. You can enter into their life just by holding your phone and watching them on Instagram. You see their life, you see their house, you see their bedrooms. You see people doing get ready with me, and you are seeing the color of their bed sheets. The room used to be something that is very sacred. The room used to be a place that is very sacred. The bedroom is a place that is very sacred. But these days, everybody is inside everybody's bedroom, and I don't have to be there physically. I am there already in your Instagram. So you tend to look at somebody else's bedroom, and you look at your bedroom and you're like, my bedroom is so ugly, this and that. So if that is happening for the older generation, how much more the younger generation? Everybody wants to be something, and everybody wants to show the world that they are something. And this is where pseudo personality comes from, when you are not even sure of who you are, you're not sure of your identity, but because of the validation that you're expecting from the public, you tend to want to succumb to what the society finds or calls the norm. So it's a different world, and our approach should become different. Our approach should change. Studies show that in 2040 there will be much less human interaction. We can see that already happening. And it started from COVID. Many people will lose their identity because AI will literally take over everything. We'll have smart houses. In fact, people will not even be resuming the office anymore because AI will literally have taken up most of the jobs. So if AI is going to take up most of the jobs, then we should not continue to send the younger generation to the conventional schools where they would not learn anything for the world that is coming. Because we cannot continue to raise our younger generation the way we were raised for a world that we are living in right now that is even changing. We see that even China is literally living in 2040 already compared to African countries, compared to the whole of the African continent. So what are we doing with our younger generation? What are we doing with the people that we call the leaders of the future of tomorrow? And if we are saying, okay, they are not leaders of tomorrow, they are leaders of now. So what are we doing with them? What exactly are we doing with them? And this is why we are here. There's fear of the future. Everybody's afraid. They don't even know which courses to take anymore. They don't know which department to go, because our universities, I don't want to go that far, but our universities they are too archaic, very, very archaic. Imagine a baby boomer who is in his 70s or his 80s that does not even understand how AI works. Yes, there is the advent of sustainability. There is the advent of critical thinking. We need to also teach the younger generation how to think, right? And not depend on AI. But even when we were in school, I'm sure that some adult here would attest to that. They don't want you to think. They want you to do la cram la pour. There are some people that would They will literally lecture you and expect that it is the definition they gave to you that you give back to them in the exam. They don't want you to think. So now imagine the advent of AI, and students do not even want to think anymore. Projects, thesis, everything is ChatGPT or Grok or what do you have it? So we are here because we want, if we have a different world, then our curriculum needs to change. We need to be intentional about the different world that is coming, and we need to be intentional about the generation that we are going to be raising. If the family system, if the family has not gotten a hang of their culture in the house, then if they did not, you know, the way they raised you, but you have to raise yourself. So talk about coinly and cointa, and that is what we are doing here. If you have not been taught in the house, you're going to be taught somewhere else. And this is us being intentional about educating even adults as well, educating people on what is coming and how, you know, we can say that Jesus is coming soon, right? Rapture is going to happen. But what if, let's just say, what if Jesus does not come back until 2050? Are we going to now begin to say, oh, it is well, this is what has happened? Why are we not, finding solutions to that problem? Let it be that we are in the midst of finding that solution when Jesus comes, right? We're in the midst of finding the solution to the problem that is coming when Jesus now comes. Instead of now sit down and expect that Jesus will come. But what if he does not come until 2050, and then we've lost out on the next generation? And we are still focusing on the Alpha and Gen Z right now. Beta is still coming. Generation Beta are still coming. Those ones that will be birthed, I think, this year or next year. I think from this year, there'll be one from 2027. So when Generation Beta comes, a lot of things would have changed. I want to remind you that millennials are the last generation that, experienced an internet free world, right? Millennials were the ones that you grew up with both worlds, and I think that's one of the reasons why millennials are like they're trying to trying to unlearn the things that they've learned in the past, the wrong mindset and everything. But the Gen Zs are the ones that entered into the digital world, so we don't expect that they will think like us, right? We don't expect that they will act like us. So if we want them to be as audacious and tenacious and resilient like the millennials, I think that we should be intentional and be I think we should just be gracious, right? It's not easy. I am not saying it is easy, but we need to be gracious with them, because you cannot teach a person while you are yelling at them. Why are you teaching me if while you are angry? If you need to be calm, you need to be collected, you need to be loving and compassionate to be able to pass knowledge. If you are teaching a person with agitation, then the memory will stick with them as a negative memory, and you are forming a core memory that is negative for them. So anytime they remember what you are teaching them, they are associating it with pain or trauma. So it is better that we learn also to be compassionate. And this is also speaking to the older generation, to be compassionate about, teaching them. All right. So for the younger generation, I write my own story. You do not exist to simply follow the crowd. You are here to discover who you are, make thoughtful decisions, and build a life that reflects your values, strengths, and purpose. So we'll talk about values, we'll talk about strengths, we'll talk about purpose in the advent of the classes. But what I want to illustrate in this on this slide is that you cannot allow statements that have been said to you, especially negative statements that have been said to you, to determine who you become. Because if you allow statement that does not, I'm sure that you'd remember, or you heard when one of the adults said that he was taught how not to trust people. So you have to unlearn and relearn things. You have to become a person of your own. And when you begin to form your identity, you begin to become a person of your own. You have to begin to check out your values. You have to begin to, see what you believe. You have to check what you believe and put it side by side with what is true. Because most times, I would say that our own parents were, their beliefs were, I would not say that their beliefs were wrong, but there are some beliefs that they had that was influenced by culture. It was influenced by culture, whatever culture that they came from, whether the Yoruba culture, but it was influenced by culture. And there are some things that are not truth, right? They are not truths. They are not even proven. For example, should I say this? For example, they'll say if a boy should touch you, you will get pregnant. And they don't explain, they don't expatiate. They just say if a boy should touch you, you get pregnant. And you dare not ask question, what do you mean by touch me? They say, are you stupid? Right? So you have to be intentional, and it comes from self-awareness to be able to understand your personality, your love language. Even before you even understand your love language, you have to understand what love actually means. You have to understand the definition of love. You have to, when you are talking about your values, what are the things that I stand for? What are the things that I do not stand for? Am I the kind of person that loves honesty? Am I the kind of person that loves to read? But in my house, growing up, they will say I should go and read, but I will always be sent on errand. You're supposed to be reading. So you don't read your book, go and read your book. And then the moment I pick up the book, they will remember that there is something that they want me to do, and then I drop the book and leave. So growing up, one of my values when I decided to write my story was to begin to read. Because even in school, it is when I'm close to exam time that I'll begin to read. But when I got to year 4, I now realized that after class, and if I pick up the notes that I wrote, it tends to stick better. So when to rewrite your story, you have to be self-aware, you have to be intentional, and you have to be compassionate with yourself. You did not train yourself as a child. You modeled what you saw. Right? It was what you saw as a child that you modeled. Probably your parents did what, that was how they knew how to behave. That was how they knew how to act. So definitely every individual, every person on this call should treat both generations with grace, right? And this is the way that we can learn and understand each other and literally live in harmony with one another. So let's move on quickly. So let's talk about some quotes that we have here about audacity. Benjamin Disraeli says that success is a child of audacity. Success is a child of audacity. Those who won't take risks, we have talked about risks already when we're talking about what you'd like to change. Those who won't take risks risk being neighbors with failure and audacious and mediocrity rather. Those who will not take risks, they risk. So if you're not taking intentional risks, you are taking unintentional risks. You risk being a neighbor with failure and mediocrity. And I would even say that mediocrity would actually happen when you are trying something out. So a person who is not even trying at all would not even have the opportunity to be mediocre. So if you do not try to do something, you do not even stand up to try, I don't think you would have, at that particular point, mediocrity literally becomes a privilege for that person. So success is a child of audacity. Boldness births results. Boldness births results. It is that simple. If you do not stand up to get work done, it won't be done. It won't be done. So let's go quickly to our second quote. It says that you have to believe in yourself. You need to have audacity to be great. You have to believe in yourself. You need to have audacity to be great. Not everybody will be great. I used to believe that everybody will be great. I used to believe that everybody, yes, I still believe that everybody has they have what it takes to be great. It's somewhere inside. It's somewhere inside. But not everybody will be great, because not everybody is willing to face the situation. Not everybody is willing to face the mountain that has presented itself before them. Not everybody is willing to go through the struggle, the trouble, or the tribulation. Not everybody is willing to go through that, right? Only a few people will face the bull. Only a few people will face the bull and take it by its own. Because, we always say that, take the bull by its own. Have you ever seen a bull before? Have you ever stood face to face with a bull? If you have stood face to face with a bull, you understand that statement is not for the weak, right? So only a few people would literally stand in front of the bull face to face, and you see the bull literally moving back. And when a bull is moving back, I'm sure some people are already interpreting that in their mind as in Yoruba. So as the bull is going back, you know that no, trouble is coming. But you stretch out your hand and you are taking the bull by its own, even if it carries you and tosses you, they carry you, they go where you don't know. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that when I hold this bull by the horn, wherever it takes me to, wherever it drops me, wherever it pushes me to, there's a trend that has been going around, Yakubu manage. Where whenever you hold the horn, that should cross your mind, that hold on to the horn till you find greatness, till you are successful at bringing that bull to his knees. Not everybody is willing to do that. Not everybody, because some people they do not want to take risks. Some people are just there for survival. They don't want to. I just want to, just have one house, one car, and I'm fine. No, there's no life like that in 2040. There's no life like that in 2040. It's either you are on the top or you are beneath. And that is what is happening now. There is a serious marginalization. In fact, there is no higher echelon, the middle class, and then the lower class. It is now higher echelon and the lowest of class. And this is the reason why we are here. Now, the third quote by Eleanor Roosevelt says, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." The future belongs to those who believe in the future of their dreams. No one else will believe in your dreams because they did not see it. Only you will see your dreams and believe in it. If you believe in your dreams, you'll be the one to, speak out that dream, be able to tell that dream out, because I had a dream. I saw this and I saw that. Nobody can enter into your dream when they are not Joseph, right? So Joseph himself also believed in his dreams. He saw something that was normally you're not even supposed to tell people. You had a particular, probably the boy was just very innocent, right? And he told his family that this and this are the things that even his father was like, "How dare you?" What audacity? That is audacity. How dare you? But look at what audacity got him into. Audacity got him sold into slavery. And that is exactly what happens. You are not there to, to be validated by your family, or you're validated by the people, or social media, or people that are online. The audacity that you have to dream is for you to impact your world, for you to be a different person compared to every other person. Remember that we said that you write your own story. You are not, sitting on other people's definition of you, or definition of what a dream should look like. So the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Let's move on quickly, and we'll be done very, 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 very soon. Now, the 3 A's curated specifically for this class: audacity to dream, audacity to awaken, and audacity to execute. Audacity to dream, audacity to awaken, and audacity to dream. Like I said, Joseph had the audacity to dream. Joseph had the audacity to speak up. Joseph had the audacity to say what happened to him. in his dream, what would happen in the nearest future? He didn't even know that it would probably to happen in the nearest future. A dream is not bad, right? Yes, there are sometimes that we have nightmares, and nightmares are dreams that might have negative, that have, not might, that have negative connotations. But do you know that you can literally take that nightmare and turn it into a vision and execute it? Well, if you want to know, you have to join the Audacious bunch. Okay, so you need to have the audacity to dream. You need to have the audacity to, imagine things that you've never seen before. The things that you've never ever been able to, that nobody around you has ever been able, to imagine or to think of. As a child, when I was in JS1, I didn't even know that there was anything like that. I just believed that, I said the first car I'm going to drive, that, they will specifically do that car for me, that car is going to have a particular shape. This is the way, the way we used to do as children. But because, I will say it again, because of this generation, they've been oversensitized. They've been there's a high sensationalism that has happened to them, especially online. So it's like they've seen it all. So there is nothing new. You've seen it all. There is nothing. There is something new. There is something new. There is something new. It is what you call it that it is. It is what you call it that it is. Yes, there is, there is a way a person can be delusional. But I dare say I want to be delusional about my dreams. I want to be delusional about my dreams. When you dream, you have a dream and you have the courage to share it with somebody, and that person says that thing is rubbish. It might pain you. You go back and cry, but don't wipe your tears. The person doesn't just have the mind to conceive it. It was given to you. You are the one who has the womb to conceive that dream. That person's womb cannot conceive it. So don't allow anybody deaden your dream. Don't allow anybody kill the womb that has conceived, because the moment you share with somebody who says that, oh, that is nonsense, it doesn't make sense, right? It's a way to, you are shrinking your ability to conceive greater dreams. You are shrinking your ability, because you say, if I go and tell this person now or tell this other person, in fact, let me just say, if you have anybody like that, please shift for them. Shift. Second A is the audacity to awaken. When you are dreaming, it's like you are sleeping, right? Sometimes when you daydream, you are awake. Sometimes when you are sleeping, you are dreaming. But this awakening I'm talking about is awakening from the programming that you have been put under. It's like a spell that everybody has been put under, and everybody's thinking in a particular way. Everybody's thinking that, oh, this is the way. When you hear the word creative, what comes to mind? You think of what do you call these people? Social media managers, content creators, graphics designers. I am a creator, right? There is a reason why that word creator was made to sound in that particular way, so that people will not be awakened to the fact that they've been made co-creators with God. You'll be made a co-creator with God. So you need to begin to ask questions. I think somebody also mentioned that already, that you need to begin to ask questions, because the only way to get answers is to ask questions. Ask difficult questions. Ask stupid questions. Questions that you feel like, there is an art of asking questions. Yes, that one aside. But even if the question does not make sense to you, still ask it. Even if you feel like nobody around you will be able to answer the question, still ask it. Let people let people say that you are the one who is always asking stupid questions. But guess what? They say it's in, I think, a Yoruba adage that the person who asks for the road never gets lost. You never get lost. You just know that, okay, this question, I'm not supposed to ask it anymore. This is the way to, rephrase the question and say it and ask it this way, so that I can get the exact response that I need. So let's move on quickly to the audacity to execute. the audacity to execute. You can have the best ideas, but if you don't have the audacity to act and pursue those ideas to ensure that they become a reality, they will remain mere ideas. It will remain a mere dream. Okay, you have awoken from the programming, and everybody's complaining, oh, there is conspiracy theory, oh, there is this, there is Epstein file, there is this one, there is that. But if you have an idea, and one of the ways that I'll give you an example, like I explained how I got the word audacity in October. One of the ways to execute is to find a way to get that solution that you have, that idea that you have, rather, to become tangible value, to become a solution to other people. And that is exactly how the Audacious Bunch was birthed. So there was a dream, there was a thought in the mind, there was an imagination that, oh, if this is this, then how can we do this? But there is a programming that I have thought about this, I have dreamt about this, this is the vision that I want to achieve. And then there is a programming, there is the rat race, there is the way people think, and this is what everybody is going to accept. The truth is, what the Audacious Bunch was created, that's why it's called a bunch. It is not every plantain on the tree that is in one bunch. There are other bunches, right? So this Audacious Bunch was created for only a few people who are willing to take the bull by the horn. Now, so how we now executed it is turning it into a mentorship and coaching program for teenagers. That's it. So I just used the Audacious Bunch to explain the 3 A's to you. So why audacity? Why audacity? The world is saturated with counterfeits, and we know that. Fakes and replicas. There was something I saw, I'm trying to remember. There was something, okay, I think, yes, I saw a movie recently, and then I don't know if anybody here knows Kevin Hart. If you know Kevin Hart, I want to see your hand. If you know Kevin Hart, let me see your emojis. Kevin Hart. The adults here should know Kevin Hart. So, yes. So I saw a movie, and Kevin Hart was not in that movie. But there was this particular black guy who started acting somehow. And then I was like, why is this guy acting like Kevin Hart? There is a way Kevin Hart has his, personality, and how he screams and how he shouts and how he, expresses himself. And then this person was literally doing like him. And I'm like, why do you have to act in? There is a way that you can look up to somebody and literally take up their personality. But, we've talked about self-awareness. You need to become very self-aware, not to, become a person with pseudo personality. Pseudo personality is when you are hovering in between 2 types of personalities. I'm only going to give this opportunity to teenagers when we are inside the Audacious Bunch. They're going to do their personality test and assessment. So if you want it to as an adult, you're going to pay for it. All right. So now this person literally became like Kevin Hart, and it became very irritating. Now imagine how people copy themselves these days. There are too many copycats. There are too many copycats. Yes, there's a way. Somebody said you can, copy something and then you become yourself. But I would rather say that you find yourself first. Right? Find yourself first. You need to have a concrete identity. You need to be able to stand out. I think it was was it that the Adiboye that was talking about the twins that had, their thumbs were different, but their 8 fingers were the same fingerprint. So every individual has their own originality. Every individual has their own personality. All you need to do is to be able to sit down. And you know what? The world is so fast and so loud that you cannot. How many of us here, you've sat down for 30 minutes without saying anything, without doing anything in the past 1 week? You just sat down. You're not with your phone. You're not pressing your phone. You're not talking to anybody. You're just there. You're not listening to music. You're just there, 30 minutes with yourself. You're not praying. You're not speaking in tongues. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting down there and you're thinking about your thoughts. How many people have done that? Can I see your hand? In the past 1 week, 30 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes. Anybody? Okay, 10 minutes. You just sat down without pressing your phone. All right. So one person. Two. All right, 10 minutes. And I hope that you're not pressing your phone. So because the world is so fast, because we have been oversensitized, our brain needs that quick recharge. It needs that burst of energy. We cannot sit still anymore. So this is the reason why people are no more self-aware. They're just, on overdrive. And it is worse for the younger generation. You're just on overdrive. It takes audacity to be quiet, because do you know many things will be coming to your mind? We have more than 6,000 thoughts in a day, and less than 1% of that makes sense. So if we're going to give us a task now to sit in 24 hours, every thought that crosses your mind, whether stupid, whether good, whether bad, let us write it down. And when you write it down, you count how many positive thoughts you have. The number of positive thoughts you have will determine the kind of mindset that you have. So originality should be louder. Every person should be original. You can learn from other people, you can pick from other people, but you need to know who you are to be able to really, really understand your own unique voice. So it takes bold voices to stand for the truth. And imagine the person that you are copying. Now we know that there are so many nonsense that is going on now with all the gender whatever. So imagine the person that you're looking up to, you're inspired by, now says that this is what it is. These are the things that I believe now. I do not believe in God anymore. Now I'm an atheist. What will happen to your so-called identity that you have formed from that person or by that person? What happens? Then there's going to be identity distortion. Or probably the person just falls into depression that, everybody is bad. And that's exactly what we have these days, that people are saying that all pastors are fake, all pastors are thieves, because you have, identified yourself through that person instead of by your own self-awareness. You don't know what you like. You don't know how you like it. You don't know who you like. You don't know how you speak. You don't know your own DNA. You don't have the blueprint of who you are. You don't get it. You don't even know at all. And this is the reason why the Audacious Bunch was created, for teenagers to be able to get a concrete identity even from now. I tell you, I did not, I think I was maybe 24, 25, 26 before I was very intentional about the kind of people that, I listened to as a child, because growing up, I grew up with a lot of hypocrites, a lot of pretentious people. So if I should put this generation in the life that I lived, or in the life that I had, I don't think any one of them will survive it. Because, and I'm sure that many adults here would also would have experienced some things like that. They would not survive it. They would have lost themselves. In fact, they would have I have a cousin who experienced, like, she lived where I lived for maybe just like 3 months, and she wanted to kill herself. She was suicidal. She had suicidal ideation, and I'm like, okay, I have lived in this place for more than 20 years, and I don't understand. In 3 months, you want to kill yourself. So many people experience these things because they have not sat down to really understand who they are, and maybe why they even like what they like, or why they hate what they hate. Many of us are just walking around with biases and not really elucidating what our values are, or what we really want out of life. So thank you for listening to that. Thank you so much for listening to that. So what are the teenagers going to be getting? What's their audacious edge? What are the things they're going to be getting in this particular training in 9 months? It's going to be a lot. It's a lot of work, but it's needed, right? It's needed. And the work that we want to do, the price that was placed on the program is nothing compared to the value that they're going to be getting. So they get to meet more than 15 individuals with proven experience in their field, successes in their field, people who have failed and succeeded, people who have failed forward and failed backward and failed everything, and also succeeded, gotten back up, and build something for themselves. They will also have exposure to workable principles, even in their teen age and also the adult age, because some things, quote and unquote, might begin to change, especially in the world. Some things can begin to change even inside of them, but principles never change, right? The principle of gravity does not change. If a rich man and a poor man should stand on the roof and jump down, both of them will fall down, except maybe the rich man now has a sort of propellant, or maybe the rich man has a parachute on his back. So yes, and that is an advantage for a wealthy person. But we're going to be exposing them to principles that would help them navigate both their teen years and their adult years. So it's a sustainable program. It's not something that they will just learn now. And then I remember when I did 9 months. No, it's going to be something, a tool that they're going to continue to use even in their adult stage. So they're going to get concrete identity, value elicitation, self and environmental awareness as well. They're going to learn how to critically think. They're going to learn how to pick their right values. They're also going to learn to concretize their identity and not be shaken by every wind of trend or doctrine. And they're going to master themselves as well. So there's also going to be free one-on-one coaching with myself, and one-on-one coaching. I don't just do one-on-one coaching, in maybe 1 hour. It's a continuous thing, especially when we find that there are so many things that would have been a root cause of an issue. So for example, a child is rebellious in the house. What is the root cause of that rebellion? It's not just that the child is stubborn, or the child is rebellious, or the child is a liar. What was the thing that made a child become a liar? Is it that they beat the child so much? Is it that they don't believe the child when the child says the truth? So there can be so many things that can, cause a problem. So in those coaching calls, we are definitely going to dig up those things that might be lurking in the dark and that their parents do not even know. So definitely the free one-on-one coaching would include the parents as well. And this actually goes for 150,000 naira if I were to be working with a client one-on-one. All right, so the program duration and activities, definitely our duration is 9 months. We're going to have 36 weeks of intensive coaching, one-on-one mentorship every 5 weeks. So we have a number of mentors. Some of them are on the call presently. We're going to have one-on-one mentorship, and it's going to be one-on-one mentorship. You have questions as a teenager, you can ask the mentor, especially when it has to do with the topic that we've had 4 weeks before the one-on-one mentorship. And then every 6 weeks, we're going to have live reviews where every teenager comes and talks about what they've learned, how they've executed it. And we're going to be very intentional about execution. Remember, we've talked about Audacity to execute. So we're going to have live reviews and talk about execution. We're not going to give you assignments and then we don't ask for it back. We're going to ask for those assignments. So there's going to be personal and group projects. It's literally an institution. So you're going to have personal and group projects. You're going to do the group projects with a partner, depending on more people who would come in, right? So you're going to have maybe one partner or two partners, and then you're also going to do your personal project. You might pick your topic amidst the topics that we're going to give to you, but we probably might ask, a problem that the teenager has seen, and then we ask you to come up with a system that can solve that problem. So we're going to have book reviews as well. We might be reading like 2 to 3 or 4 books. And this is a lot of work, right? Because we also have to be reading along with you and also review with you. We'll have parent check-in. I think we're going to do that like twice, depending on if we're going to be having the one-on-one coaching with the teenager. And also, we're using Selfani as our learning platform. So for all the teenagers and all the participants that are on the call, please take note of this. You're also going to receive that in your email. Every information is going to be sent to you via mail. So make sure that your email, you're always abreast with your email. Always abreast your email, and always active in class. So we expect that every participant is going to have 80% of attendance. That's, I think, 29 weeks out of 36 weeks. That's gracious, right? So you have to attend 29 weeks, submit all assignments. Even if you're not going to be available for some of the weeks, you're going to have to submit all assignments. You have to submit your personal project and group projects before you are awarded a certificate. And you have to be available for your book reviews as well. So your rules of engagement is to make sure that you are present. You have to stay present, you have to be consistent, and you have to be intentional. This is not a place to come and play, because there's some of you here that were actually sponsored to be here. You're sponsored to be here. Pardon me. You're sponsored to be here, so you have to be intentional about the opportunity that you have been given, the privilege that you have been given. And I remember that I said that many of us here as adults did not get this opportunity. I can't remember ever attending any mentorship class. Right, so you have to be very intentional about this. Come as you are, but don't remain as you are. If peradventure you are joining this class, you're the kind of person that does not know how to critically think, at the end of these 9 months, it's literally like you are being incubated like pregnancy. And the womb is Menda's Hill Illuminaire. So by the time you are birthed as a full-blown human being who has the ability to change the world, because they've been changed from the inside out. So you need to show up and show off. You need to show up. You have to show up. And I'm saying it over and over again. You have to show up. All right. So admission is still on. Peradventure you have anybody who you want to come in, and well, because this is the first of its kind, we are willing to give a discount, but you have to, but admission is still on anyway, so you can still bring in as many young people as you would like. And definitely you can see all the speakers that we're going to be having. Tumilova Comfort is somebody, I think she finished with a 4.9 or so. So if you're a student here who wants to finish with the first class, you need to be in that class to really get the strategies that she used, right? And in fact, guess what? The day she's going to be speaking is actually her birthday. What are the odds? So definitely she's going to be pouring her heart out. And we have so many people here. You can see Alex Oyebade, who he runs a tech company, and it has really grown beyond even the expectation, right, that you have of a startup within a year. We also have Feitola Daniels. She's also doing great in her craft and in her work. You have Sister Falake, who is also very passionate about the young generation, who is willing to go above and beyond. You have so many people. You have Ife Onkawe, who is also a head of founder of an NGO that is intentional about the growth of the younger generation, who helps the younger generation learn how to read, right? There is a way that we have lost the ability to read. So she's going to come in to teach and help us out. We have Toluwani as well, but if I'm going to continue to mention names, I think we will not leave here today. All right. You can also still partner with us by selling the Audacious Bunch program. And for every sale, you can make 10% off the original price. And that's 5,000 naira, yeah. So you can make 5,000 naira off every sale for every person that you bring. Every person that buys through your link, you have to use the link. So I think somebody should help me with the registration link in the chat box in case anybody wants to have it. You can also still sponsor a team. There's so many people who have entered into my DM asking that can they join, but my hands are up like this. The people that have sponsored have been sponsored. And we also want to thank somebody. I don't know if you want me to mention her name, but anyways, let me jump. We also want to say thank somebody who is on the call, somebody who is very intentional about the younger generation as well, who sponsored somebody, sponsored a young person. So we want to say thank you, but you can still do more. There are still so many young people who want to be sponsored, but probably their parents do not have, or their parents don't just believe in personal development for teenagers, because many times people just care about the academics. They only care about the four walls of the conventional school. So you can also help drop a review for us on Selfanie on our website. And we're also going to be uploading some new courses in the course of the month and in the course of the month, so that you can also be part of our training programs. Remember I said that we also have some things for adults as well. You can also help us reshare our posts. At any time you see our posts, you can help us reshare and follow us on all our social media. So welcome to the Audacious Bunch, where we are preparing the next generation to stand out and become global voices. And you cannot become a global voice if you don't know the language of the globe. And this is what we want to teach at the Audacious Bunch in the next 9 months. And I hope that we're able to get something out of today's presentation. I don't know if you have any question. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much. I'm sure that you know that after now, if you have not paid for the class, you would not be allowed to come in after now. But if you would like to probably attend any, as an adult, if you'd like to attend any of the classes or courses just to understudy, you can always reach out to me before the class comes up. So we have classes every Saturday by 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So the next class that we're going to be having is, first of all, we're going to be talking about identity, and that's what we're going to be having next week. It's going to be very, very, very interesting and very profound. I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to have that with everyone, all of the teenagers, I mean. But if you're an adult and you want to, participate in the class just to understudy, you can reach out to me and we can kick off our conversation from there. So without further ado, I'd like to appreciate everybody for joining. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope that you do have a lovely, lovely, lovely weekend. And thank you for also taking the time to be here and be intentional about the younger generation. I see great things happening through every person on this call. God bless you.